All right, so this is a full landing page course, everything from what a landing page is, when should you use a landing page, how to optimize your landing page. And all of this is to increase the conversion rate of your paid ads or any sort of traffic that you get. If you get if you have 100 visitors on your website and 5 people take the next action, which could be an opt-in, a phone call, or a booking, right? And that's currently what your website is performing at. If we could get it from 5 to 10, right, all of a sudden, assuming all things equal, we've just doubled the business. So this video is super in-depth. Make sure to take notes and implement these on your pages. And yeah, make some more money and grow your business. So hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you later. Peace. All right, in this video, I'm going over what is a landing page and why should you use one, as you can see here. So why even think about a landing page in the first place? Most local businesses send ad traffic to their homepage, which is literally their domain website, which has, all their about us, the service pages, contact page, all that stuff, right? Or no website at all, meaning on Meta, they're using lead forms or even Google lead forms. So the problem with this is you're paying for clicks, but only 1 to 3 out of 100 visitors contact you, which means 97 plus people leave without calling, booking, or asking for any quote, right? So if we can get that 1 to 3 people out of 100 to 3 to 6 people, all things being equal, we have just doubled the business, right? So it's super important. So what is a landing page? The plain English definition is that a landing page is a single focused web page with just one job: turn a visitor into a lead, right? Or it could be a sale or whatever your conversion action is. Key traits is we want to build one for one specific offer. For example, if you're a roofer, that would be a free roof inspection, right? No gutter cleaning, none of that BS, just that one offer. One specific type of person, right? Homeowners in Brisbane with tiled roofs, as an example, and with one main call to action, right? And you can technically have 2 if you do a phone call and an inquiry, but usually one main works well because we don't want to skew results, which would be a call, a book, request a quote, or anything similar. And the analogy here is that your website is like a full brochure about everything you do, but a landing page is like a one flyer about the one offer that tells them exactly what to do next, right? So it works really well in paid ads. And in the funnel, we'll have like an ad or an email or a QR code. However we're generating that traffic, we then take them to the landing page, which isn't, a full brochure of a website. But then they're able to make a form or a phone call, and then of those turn into an appointment or a quote or a patient booking, whatever it is that you offer, right? So why landing pages work better than generic websites? First of all, higher conversion rates. So homepages are built for information, people in browsing mode and all that stuff. Landing pages are built to convert people to that one action, right? As you can see, lead or booking. So the typical pattern is that for homepages, 1 to 3% of visitors contact you, as in 1 to 3 visitors out of 100 that go to your website will end up taking that action, whether that's a phone call, a booking, or a lead inquiry. A decent landing page will do 5 to 10% of visitors that contact you, right? And again, what I said before, all things being equal, if we just increase the conversion rate of the traffic, we'll increase the business, right? So if we're spending money on ads that drive traffic to a website, and it's the same ad spend as for this example, we'll get more leads. So if you get 100 clicks and the homepage converts at 2%, that's 2 leads. Landing page at 10%, that's 10 leads. That's a 5x increase, right? 5 times more leads from the same budget. So we also have fewer distractions, right? So on the homepage, there's a menu, blog, about, careers page, 5 different services, all these social links where people can just doom scroll and literally do whatever, but not take any action. Whereas in the landing page, we have no menu, no rabbit holes, just headline, proof, offer, call to action, and every extra link is an exit, right? For the homepage or your main website, landing page removes exits. We box them in like a fish into one specific call to action so they can't run away, essentially. And that's exactly what we want to do. Also, the message match here. So if you're running a specific ad for a specific suburb or specific service, let's say you're a plumber, if someone searches up emergency plumber near me and then clicks an ad, it's bad if they land on a generic homepage that talks about all plumbing services, whether that's hot water cylinders or just fixing someone's tap, right? But a good one lands on a page that says 24/7 plumber in the city, call now, right? It's super specific to their search. In this case, would be from a Google ad, right? And when your homepage matches what the ad promised, more people convert. It's just simple as that. So it's also easier to track and improve, right? We have one clear goal: click to call or submit form. So it's easy to measure to see how many people visited that landing page specifically and how many people called or fill out the form or booked in, right? And we can test different headlines, images, guarantees without touching the whole site. It doesn't mess SEO as well. That's a whole other thing, because you can make your website conversion-based focused, but it might mess up your SEO efforts, and we don't want to lose all that momentum that you've been building with SEO. So it's what we usually do for our clients is we put the landing page in a subdomain. So if my domain is odindigital.com.au, I'd have a subdomain that's like go.odindigital.com.au, and that's where I'd put my landing pages, right? And it's purely just to convert traffic. We're not trying to get SEO. We need to direct traffic to it somehow with ads, whether that's on Meta or Google or even QR codes using print advertising, right? So it's a lot easier to track and improve, and we can set up the Metapixel or the Google Tag Manager or Google Analytics on that specific page, and it's super duper easy to track. Cool. When a local business should use a landing page, right, is if you're running Google Ads or Meta Ads, very self-explanatory there, or we're pushing a specific offer, whether that's a free consultation, free inspection, new patient special, limited time promotion, whatever your offer is. And anytime you want more calls, more booked appointments, more quote requests, or whatever, not just more website traffic, because we can get a ton of people clicking, but what's the point of them clicking if no one's going to take any action and no one's going to pay us any money, right? So the anatomy of a simple high converting local landing page, we want a clear headline, what, who, where, for example, Perth emergency electrician, 24/7 call out service, right? Subheadline is something to supplement that headline. Simple promise, an outcome, will be at your door within 60 minutes, or your call out fee is free, as an example. Hero section with one main call to action. We want a big button or a big phone number that says call now or book free inspection. Optional secondary request a quote, right? So in this case, the main big button would be a call button or booking on someone's calendar. Otherwise, they can request a quote and fill out a form as well, right? But usually we want to just drive one. Quick benefits list, right? Focus on value, not features. For example, for this Sparky here, same-day service, upfront fixed pricing, licensed and insured, local team, not a franchise, so it's more personalized. And we want to tie back to the dream outcome and lower time/effort for the no-brainer offer, right? Like 24/7 call out, dream outcome is, fixed whatever. Cool. And continued, we want to add social proof, right? Star rating on Google, Facebook, Trustpilot, whatever. Short testimonials as well. If we have video testimonials, that works even better. Before and after photos or simple case studies that we're allowed to do. For healthcare, you need to be careful of opera because sometimes you're not allowed to put this on your website. We also want an explainer section or how it works, process, whatever. Step 1, call or submit form. Step 2, we inspect and quote. Step 3, we fix, you relax. Very simple. Risk reversal or guarantee, only if you can operationally back it. You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver for your clients. So we have no fix, no fee, as an example. Or if we miss your appointment window, you get X amount of dollars off. All right, so for the no-brainer equation, for making the value equation for a no-brainer offer, we want to remove the risk and increase the perceived likelihood of success by having this guarantee. Continued, we also want an FAQ section, frequently asked questions like how much does it cost? What areas do you serve? Are you licensed? Do you offer after-hour service, as an example? And then the last thing here is trust and contact details. So licenses, associations, certificates, local address and service areas, phone, email, opening hours, right? So this would be on your footer, essentially, of the landing page. So how do landing pages fit inside your marketing? The step 1 is we want to pick one core service and one city/suburb if you're a local service business. Step 2, we want to build one simple landing page using the checklist above. And step 3, we want to send all ad traffic for that service to this page, not your homepage, right? So if you're currently running ads for that sent to your website, let's stop that and just change the link so it goes to the landing page. And then we want to track clicks and then call/form fills and the cost per lead, right? So this is how serious businesses treat marketing. Every ad has a matching landing page, right? If you're super sweaty with it, you can do bulk landing pages and bulk ad groups and ad sets, for Google and Meta to do that. And we do that for some of our clients. Every landing page has one clear call to action, no BS, no browsing, no way where they can leave us. And they iterate the page, they don't guess. So they A/B test as well. Mainly it's just that above the fold section, which is the section before people scroll. But yeah, it could literally be as simple as changing the headline or changing the guarantee or changing the offer, right? Cool. So just as a recap, landing page is a one-pager, one offer, one action. and it makes your ads and traffic actually pay off because you have a higher conversion rate. And again, all things being equal, you'll just increase and grow the business, right? Just by having a higher conversion rate on your landing page. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. All right. In this video, I'm going over landing page structure and how to convert more of your clicks into, bookings, leads, or phone calls, right? Or sales. So as you can see here, I just put out the structure. It's very, very simple, right? Don't need to overcomplicate it. And later on, I'll go through one of our own internal landing pages that we're using for our ads. But you can see here, we have the headline first. So you want your headline to be your no-brainer offer. Make it short, sweet, direct, concise. Subheadline is supplementing things onto that headline as well. And then you want to have a video sales letter or hero image, right? If you are doing more direct response sales, then I would recommend having a video sales letter. Otherwise, you're super cool to just have like a hero image. That way, it pairs up nicely with your headline and subheadline, and then call to action. So this part here, I would say is, the above the fold, like all the way. And let me just get a line. Let's just put a line like here. On top of this line is the above the fold section. So this is what people see before you scroll. So going over my own example here from one of my own landing pages, I'm targeting dental practices to work with my agency, right? So you can see my headline is fill your chair with implant and cosmetic cases predictably, right? Because dentists want more of the high margin products. And then we have the subheadline, which is, we help dental practices attract high value patients using a proven targeting and nurture system. Right? No more chasing cleanings or price shoppers. And then here's the hero image. So if you are doing like a video sales letter, you could do that as well. But you can see we have qualified patients only, a little bit more extra. And then the clear call to action is claim your free strategy call. And notice how I also have it at the top. That goes to the same call to action button. Cool. So that's the above the fold. Next is clients, right? As you can see here, have a bunch of my clients. And then, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're doing like business to consumer, then you would put any faces, any photos of clients, any reviews, anything like that, right? And then next is pain points. So, sound familiar, your skill at dentistry, not chasing leads. So this would be pain points of your existing clients, right? Like, does this sound familiar? And then you have like what's included, right? So this is like your process or, the system, as you can see. So this is our process for how we can help dental practices, right? So if you were a dental practice, you would do something similar. So it would be like, consultation as the first step. Second, we diagnose and put you to the right treatment plan. Number 3 is the actual treatment plan, right? Something like that. Cool. And then next we have the difference, right? Or, we can put more social proof, which we have here. Right, real results from dental practices. And then the other thing you can do, like we added here, is the difference, like why most marketing fails. Old way, new way, right? Very simple. So we can add that here as well. And then, more social proof. And we have some bonuses. So I would add that under the social proof. And then frequently asked questions as well, FAQs. And by the way, most people around depending on your offer and depending on the traffic, 80% should just convert from here. Like they might scroll slowly, but not a lot of people will read it. This bottom is, after this page right here, this is the most important part. The rest is like 20%. So this is 80%, the rest is 20%. So more social proof, the bonuses, which is optional that you can add, right? So we have some bonuses here, and then FAQs, right? And make it pop up like this, so it's not like too fat on the screen. If you commonly get heaps of the same questions, then just obviously put it there, right? Pretty self-explanatory. And I would add a risk reversal or guarantee. This is my own guarantee. And then a final call to action, right? Which is ready to fill your schedule with high value cases, get the strategy session. So you can see here, like, even though I have my logo at the top, when I click it, like nothing happens. We only want people to take one call to action, right? Maybe 2 if you're doing phone call and leads, but for this case, we're just doing 1. As you can see, we can claim the free strategy call. That's my call to action. Get started goes to the exact same page, right? And that's just for scrolling purposes. And so does this. But it's all goes to the same page. We don't want anything extra. We don't want people to view the website, nothing like that. It's really, this page has one goal only, and that's just to convert, nothing else, right? So that is it for the landing page structure. If you guys implement this on your landing pages, you will convert much more leads and much more site traffic. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. So this is the most important part of your landing page, which is the above the fold section. So the goal of the above the fold section, it's not your whole website, right? Its only job is to make the right local prospect think, this is for people like me. They know that it can solve a specific problem, and I know exactly what to do next. Everything you add should support those 3 outcomes and literally nothing else. So the 5 ingredients of a high converting above the fold section is that it must have a clear avatar call out, right? Who it's for, a specific dream outcome, a local anchor, proof and trust. So this could be like Google reviews, logos, numbers, and any other proof. And one primary call to action, which would be, get a quote, phone call, or booking, right? So this is your Grand Slam offer compressed into one view in this above the fold section, right? So we want to call out your exact local avatar. So we want to lead with a label that matches how your best buyers see themselves. And examples for local services is like Melbourne homeowners, get fast emergency plumbing today if you're a plumber in Melbourne. If you are a chiropractor in Brisbane, we say Brisbane people, relieve your back pain today, right? If they're not sure it is for them within 1 second of landing to the page, then you lose them. So we also want to promise a specific tangible outcome, right? So your main line should describe the dream outcome in concrete terms, not just vague fluff. So examples of this would be, book a local electrician in under 60 seconds, guaranteed arrival today. If it's like emergency electrician, get a fully installed hot water system in Brisbane within 24 hours, or your call out is free. If you're a plumber in Brisbane, and then remove stubborn carpet stains in your Sydney home in 1 visit, or we come back at no cost, right? So this would be if you're a Sydney carpet cleaner. We obviously want to make it local. So local buyers do care that you are nearby. So we want to bake location into that above the fold section before someone scrolls down. So we want to mention suburbs or city in the headline and or subheadline. And we want to add a small line like, proudly serving Newcastle and surrounding suburbs since 2014. Just as an example, we want to use real photos of your team, vans, storefront, signs in local streets, not just generic stock images, right? And we want to put proof above the fold again, as soon as people load in before they scroll down. So we do not want to hide proof. We want to pull it into the above the fold. We need the Google star rating with a review count, for example, 4.9 stars from 312 Gold Coast homeowners, right? Or logos of local partner businesses that are also in the area. If you partner up with other businesses and media that know you, like if you've been on TV or anything like that, you should put there, Channel 7. One short proof line, for example, over 1,200 roofs repaired in Adelaide last year, right? So this proof boosts perceived likelihood of success, which raises the value of your offer, right? So we want one primary call to action, which is we want to decide the number of action we want to take the number one action we want to take and make everything point there. So as I said before, get a free quote, inquiry, get a free roof inspection, schedule your first treatment, call us now, something like that. And we want to use that CTA or call to action in the main button, at the top right, and any text links in the above the fold, right? So one path, not many, right? So a simple above the fold layout that works is we want to use this specific framework. So on the left side, we have avatar, call out, plus outcome headline. We want a sub headline clarifying who, what, when, where, and by when. We want a primary call to action button plus a smaller, like learn more secondary link, right? And the trust row with stars, logos, quick stats, any Google reviews, anything like that. And on the right side, we either want a photo of you or your team of the service in action, or we can have a simple form for like request your quote and people can just inquire based, without scrolling down. In this case, you would remove the button, or we can have a video on there as well. So you need to split test all of those and see which one works best. And you know about your market, so you'll know what to do. But yeah, here's an example of the above the fold section for a local plumbing company. So we say Adelaide homeowners fix any plumbing emergency today as a headline on the left-hand side. Sub-headline would be licensed local plumbers in Adelaide available 24/7 for burst pipes, block drains, and hot water issues. Average arrival time under 60 minutes, or your call out is free. Right? Obviously, only say that if you can actually claim that. Otherwise, you'll get a bad reputation. Call to action is book an emergency plumber, like in a button. And the proof line is trusted by over 2,300 Adelaide homeowners and 180 plus 5-star reviews, right? So next here is a local physio clinic. So we say Brisbane professionals, right? In this case, it would be like corporate people who are always on the computer, kind of like me, all day, every day, and they have a ton of back pain. But we say Brisbane professionals fix your back pain without giving up work or the gym, right? Subheadline. Evidence-based physio in Brisbane CBD with early, late, and Saturday appointments. It's good that we showed availability. Custom treatment plan in your first visit, or you do not pay for session 2, right? Call to action here would be book your assessment as a button, and the proof line would be 4.9 stars from 540 local patients treating Brisbane since 2012. Big caveat here, but with healthcare in Australia, you need to be careful of AHPRA, that's AHPRA, because sometimes there's some things that you can and can't say, right? But yeah, so here's the above the fold audit checklist. Again, this is what people see before scrolling into the rest of the site. So the above the fold is 80% of the conversions that you get, right? The other 20% of a landing page. The other 80% of the landing page only gives 20% of the results. So we want to look at your own landing page and ask, can a stranger tell who it is and who it's for in 2 seconds? Can they see what outcome you deliver and by when? Is your city or area obvious? Like, is it local? Is there visible proof before they scroll so they know that you guys are trusted, experts, and authoritative? And then is there exactly one primary call to action? We don't want to confuse people too much. Sometimes for specific industries, it may be worth it to have like a phone call button and an inquiry button, but usually we just want to stick to one. And if any answer is no, this is your fixed list. And just some common above the fold mistakes. We want to avoid these sort of things like, welcome to our website. Headlines that say nothing. Big sliders and carousels that hide your offer. Like a lot of people scroll between images and they all have different text and we can't test things and there's no clear offer, as in people can't tell what you guys do within 2 seconds. We have multiple call to actions that pull people in different directions, right? Again, the whole point of a landing page and the above the fold section is to only drive them to one. Stock photos that could be any business in any city or AI generated. Like we want it to look real, authentic, logo, right? We want to go more for like the family business, obviously depending on your business, but the family business type of business rather than like the big corporate, don't care about you, you're just a number to me business. And the other thing is no mention of location. If you're local, no proof, no outcome, right? So clean this up and the same traffic will convert at higher rates without spending more. So this is, the most important part of your landing page, the above the fold section. It's the 80-20. And if you fix this, you will get a higher conversion rate on your website, get more appointments, bookings, sales, whatever it is, and make more money. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace. All right, so this video is on site speed. So why site speed matters for local service businesses is because when someone is searching in your area, for example, like emergency plumber near me or best family dentist, they're in problem-solving mode. So if your site or landing page takes too long to load, they simply hit back and choose a competitor because it just looks like they're lagging and it plays a huge factor because everyone is super impatient nowadays. They all have attention spans of a goldfish. So speed is not a quote-unquote tech skill. It is the first impression of your professionalism and reliability. So imagine your dream customer lands on your site. If your website takes ages to load, what does that say about your service? Just think about that. Cool. So your ads are taxed by a slow site. So every click you pay on Google Ads, Meta Ads, or any other channel is an investment. You're paying for that. A slow site is a hidden tax that burns that investment. You can write perfect ad copy, have a great video sales letter, pick great keywords, and still lose money because users give up waiting. Speed is a multiplier on all your marketing, and we need to fix it and every campaign will perform better, right? Cool. So Google rewards fast local websites. Google wants to show searchers results that load quickly and create a good experience because it is in Google's best interest, because they're a trillion-dollar company, for you guys to keep using their platforms. And if people are clicking on websites that they found on Google that are slow, then they're not going to reward those people because it's not in their best interest. So site speed is one of the factors it uses. If your electrical, legal, physio, healthcare website is consistently slow, you make it harder to rank in local search and on Google Maps as well. Very important. Faster sites get an edge in visibility and click-through over slower competitors, right? So mobile users are even less patient. Most local service searches now happen on phones, often on average connection. So if you look at your Google Ad account, or if you have Google Analytics pasted on your site, you'll probably find for most local businesses, 80% of traffic comes from mobile anyway, right? Someone standing outside their car searching, tow truck near me, this is just an example, is not waiting more than 7 seconds for an image carousel to load, right? He's just going to click another website. If your mobile site is heavy and slow, you're invisible to the most urgent, highest value customers, right? So what does speed actually mean in practice? For a business owner, the key question is simple. How quickly can a visitor see your core message and a way to contact you? That means your logo, your main headline, your service promise, your offer, and call button or form, whatever your call to action is, should appear almost instantly, right? Any fancy animations, sliders, carousels, which a lot of businesses are still doing, huge images above the fold before people scroll, usually delay this, and this is costing you leads and sales. So how do you check your current site speed? You can get a quick read on performance tools using Google Page Speed Insights, which is my favorite one, or GT Metrics is another one. Paste in your homepage or whatever landing page URL you're looking at, and look at mobile results first. For most of you guys, unless you look at your site traffic and it's all on desktop, but definitely do not skip mobile. You want a fast first contentful paint and time to interactive, right? Treat low scores and warnings as a prioritized to-do list, not technical trivia, right? It's super important. If you have a opt-in page that currently converts at 10% and you fix the site speed and it converts at 15%, all things being equal within the business, you automatically 1.5x the business, right? So it's super important, the leverage that we have here. So common speed killers on service-based websites here are the usual culprits, right? Oversized hero images of your office or your team, auto-playing background videos as well, complex page builders with bloated code, and there's so much going on, and usually it's because you're trying to do some custom animations that you ask ChatGPT to add in some CSS or HTML, right? Too many tracking scripts and pop-ups, right? And cheap, overcrowded hosting as well, right? These ones kill your site speed. So most local plumbers, dentists, gyms, clinics, tradies lose speed here, not because of anything exotic, right? It's just mainly on these things. So simple wins to make your site faster. We want to compress and resize images so they optimize for web, not print, right? So if you have JPEGs or PNGs, you want to export it as a WebP instead, because this is going to increase your site speed. We want to remove sliders and autoplay videos from the top of the page. Limit the number of apps or plugins you use, right? We don't want to overcrowd the website with that stuff. We want to use a lightweight theme or template instead of, heavy feature-packed designs. So on WordPress, pick a nice, simple theme. You don't want to go too crazy on that. And same with Webflow, Squarespace, all these other site builders. We want to upgrade to reliable hosting located in or near your country for better local response times, right? Cool. And we want to prioritize high-intent pages first. So you don't need to speed tune every blog post on your website. Yeah, ideally, you should be doing that, but you're a business owner, you're wearing so many hats, so don't have to do that. We want to focus on the pages that make you money, right? Which is the homepage, the main service pages, right? Which would be like emergency plumbing or whatever you've done for SEO and Google Ads for a specific service in a specific area. And your contact or booking page. So when someone clicks contact, it loads up super quickly. They can type in their info and you generate a lead, right? These are the pages people visit right before they call or submit a form. And shaving seconds off here has the biggest revenue impact. But yes, ideally, we want to have the whole site loading super fast. So speed, trust, and professionalism. A fast site does not just convert better, it feels more trustworthy as well. So this is like a byproduct of having a fast loading website. When your pages appear instantly, forms submit quickly, and buttons respond without lag, people subconsciously feel like your operations are tight. And if you can get that part right about your business, your service will probably be good, right? In local services where trust is everything, that subtle perception shift is often the difference between them calling you or someone else, right? And you don't want your competitors to take your clients, right? So we want to treat speed as a growth lever. So improving site speed is one of the rare marketing moves that reduces waste and increases results across every channel at once. More of your ad clicks to your offer, more organic visitors stay, more people become leads, right? It's just better for everyone. So for any local service business that relies on calls and inquiries, speed is not optional. It is critical, and it is a core growth lever. So that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. All right, in this video, I'm going over landing page offers. So your landing page does not have a traffic problem. It has an offer problem. If the offer is weak, more traffic just means you waste more money, right? A no-brainer offer is what makes a stranger stop, pay attention, and actually opt in or take whatever action it is on your landing page. On your landing page, your offer is the product. Everything else is just decoration, right? So what a no-brainer offer actually is one that feels stupid to say no to for your ideal customer. It combines a clear outcome, a fast path, and very little risk on their side, and it makes your service incomparable to every other, contact us for free quote type competitor or free consultation. They're deciding between your offer and doing nothing, not between you and 10 other tabs of your competitors, right? So the value equation behind a no-brainer offer, this is I got off Alex Hormozi's $100 million offer books, highly recommend, is that the value goes up when the dream outcome is big and specific. So I like using the dental example. For dentists, their customers want a better smile so they can be more confident, right? Value goes up when the time delay to get that outcome is short and clear, right? Within just one free teeth whitening session. Not free, but one teeth whitening session, right? Value goes up when you make success feel likely instead of hopefully it works. We can say like guaranteed, as you can see from all these case studies, right? And then value also goes up when you remove effort, hassle, and risk for the customer. So in this case, they don't have to do much work on their own. It's completely done for you. You operate on them and they get the smile that they want, right? Your landing page offer should visibly move all four levers in the visitor's mind. So why does the free quote and free consultation and all that stuff kill your landing page? So it's just not a compelling offer. It is what every lazy local service provider offers by default. And you just, look like everyone else. It does not tell me what outcome I get. It does not tell me how fast I get that outcome. It does not tell me why I should trust you over anyone else. And it forces me to do the work just to find out if I even care, right? Like, okay, I can get a free quote. Now what? Like, you're going to upsell me? So much better to have a no-brainer offer, right? And again, by free quote, I'm talking about the offer. Having a good offer and then the call to action is free quote, click this button. That's okay, right? But it has to do with the offer. So the components of a no-brainer landing page offer is that we want to call out a specific customer and a specific problem. We want to promise a concrete outcome they already want. We want to add a clear time frame or speed element where you can of course, include something free or discounted that feels disproportionately valuable. And we want to do this very strategically because we don't want to attract the wrong customers, right? We want to add risk reversal, such as a guarantee or pay after result structure, right? Like only pay upon settlement. If you're in real estate, you can do a payment plan for Invisalign, something like that. If you're a dentist, and we want to make the next step brain dead simple in a way that an NPC or someone with low IQ can actually know what next step to take. With one obvious call to action, which is usually get a free quote, consultation, or a phone call, right? Again, the call to action is different from the offer. So an example offer for a local plumber is the target audience is homeowners with emergency plumbing issues, right? So a weak offer in this case would be emergency plumbing services, call now for a free quote on your landing page, right? A stronger no-brainer offer is clogged drain clear today, or you pay nothing. Includes a whole home plumbing check as well, right? So that's an extra bonus. Outcome is clear, speed is clear today. The outcome is clogged drain cleared, right? And the risk is reversed, right? Or you pay nothing, right? Example offer for a local dentist. The target audience is adults who are embarrassed about their smile. A weak offer is general dentistry and cosmetic services. Book an appointment now, right? A stronger no-brainer offer is new patient smile upgrade. Full checkup, clean and whitening plan for $149. If you do not feel your teeth have never been cleaner, you do not pay. The package is super specific. The price feels low versus the value, right? We have a new patient smile upgrade, full checkup, clean, and whitening plan, right? Usually a checkup's like $200, plus a clean, and then the whitening's another like $200. So this is a great new patient offer. And the guarantee removes hesitation here, right? Which again is just to entice people because they're skeptical. Most people wouldn't, they're not dickheads. They're not going to ask for a refund, right? It's really just for the offer. Cool. So an example offer for a home cleaning service is the target audience is busy professionals who hate coming home to a messy house, right? Or where both parents are working. A weak offer is professional home cleaning. Get a free quote. Again, it's so generic, it's so broad, everyone looks like that. A stronger no-brainer offer is first clean at 50% off with our walk-in wow guarantee. And again, this is just a unique mechanism. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just sounding different. If we do not say wow when you walk in, we re-clean for free, right? So this is a guarantee where we want people to get the result. Then people don't want their money back. They want a fucking clean house, right? So you sell the feeling of walking into a spotless home and you lower the risk on the first experience. So how your landing page should present the offer. Above the fold, which I made a video on this, but this is like the thing that you see on a landing page before people scroll. You need a call out, outcome, and offer in one tight block. The headline calls out the local customer and promises the result. Subheadline clarifies the mechanism and adds speed or risk reversal. The primary button tells them exactly what happens next, right? Which is the call to action. And below that, we stack proof, FAQs, details that support the offer, before, afters, old way, new ways, pain benefits, all those things. So do not bury your offer halfway down the page. We want to make it above the fold, right? So here is a no-brainer offer checklist for your landing page. First, ask yourself, does my ideal client, my ideal local customer instantly know this this is for them, right? Are they the right person? Can they see the main outcome without scrolling within 1 second of landing on the page? Do they know how roughly how fast they get that outcome, right? Within a day, within 6 weeks, within 6 months? Do they see why this is safer than calling a random competitor, right? Like what makes us different? What social proof can we have or do we have? Does the offer feel like more value than what I'm asking in return? And if any answer is no, then the offer needs work before you add more traffic, right? So building your own no-brainer offer in 10 minutes, you want to write down the single biggest outcome your best customers pay you for. And again, this is outcome. So for dentists, dentistry isn't the outcome. Clean teeth is an outcome, but ideally we want to go a layer deeper. And why are people wanting clean teeth? Because they want to be confident, right? And you can even go deeper, but you know what I mean. Decide how you can package a slice of that outcome on the front end, as in like your headline on the landing page. Add something that costs you little but feels valuable to them as a bonus, right? For example, it could be this teeth whitening bonus. Decide whether you can ethically add a guarantee or pay after result angle that differentiates you from the customers and you putting money where your mouth is. And we want to name the offer in a way that sounds like a product, not a process, right? So this is your unique mechanism. And we want to put that exact language as the hero section of your landing page or above the fold. This is what people see before they scroll down. So why this matters more than any hack or any funnel trick. So a strong offer makes average copy and average design perform. A weak offer makes world-class copy and beautiful design underperform, right? Most service businesses do not have a landing page problem. They have a boring commodity offer problem and they look like everyone else. So we need to fix the offer first, then we can scale the traffic. Because if we have a ton of people going to our landing page and we have a shit offer, no one's going to convert, no one's going to pay us any money. So yeah, if you want more, subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. All right, in this video, I'm going over A/B testing landing pages. So Your landing page is a lab, not a monument. Most local businesses build a landing page once, never touch it. The best marketers treat every page like a live experiment. It's just a test at the end of the day. So A/B testing lets you turn the same traffic into more leads without spending more money on ads. So small controlled changes can stack into huge conversion gains over time. So let me break down some quick math. Let's say we have a landing page that has 100 clicks on it. So we have 100 website visitors. Let's say currently we're converting 5 visitors out of 100 into a call to action, which would be like, let's say, inquiring with their name, phone, email. And we spent money on those 100 clicks. Let's say that's those same exact clicks, we could convert 10 people instead of 5. Assuming that's the only channel in the business and keeping everything equal, we've just doubled the business. So it's super important that we A/B test. We don't just leave things up to chance. We don't hope that it works. We want to make sure that we are doing the highest expected value play every time, and that's A/B testing your landing pages. So what is A/B testing, right? It's running 2 versions of the same page at the same time. Version A is your current control, and version B is a challenger with one intentional change. And it's very important that you keep every other variable the same, because otherwise we don't know if the test was successful or not. You split traffic between them and see which one gets more leads, and the winner becomes your new control for the next test. And this is how companies scale and get really, really good conversion rates on their websites and landing pages. It's because they do this A/B testing. So we want to start by testing the biggest levers. Not all tests are equal. The headline and the main offer usually move the needle the most. That's the 80-20 of split testing, right? We've worked with companies spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on ads, and we were just doing some landing page split tests for them, and we would literally just change the headline, right? But it yielded so much results, and all the bottom stuff, yeah, that can help too, but 80% of it is that above the fold section, and is the headline itself, actually, like the sub headline and the hero image and the call to action button have a little bit to play, but it's mainly the headline. So yeah, after that, images and supporting copy comes next, and then layout tweaks and button colors are last, right? If you only test one thing on a landing page, test the headline first. So the golden rules of A/B testing is that test one meaningful change at a time, right? As I said before, if you change the headline, offer, button, and layout together, you learn nothing. One change means you know exactly what caused the lift or drop. And that lets you actually get smarter with every test instead of just guessing. So we want to find the real bottleneck before you test. Look at your numbers across the funnel. On the ads side of things, that would be impressions to clicks to leads to bookings from those leads, and then from those bookings, who showed up, who paid, what was their average order value, and then what was their lifetime value based on the recurring or reoccurring bookings, for most service-based businesses. Then we want to find out where most people drop off between click and inquiry, right? So of course, there's the part after, but for the landing page specifically, the goal is to get people to inquire. So from impressions to clicks to leads, we need to find out where people drop off. If lots of people click ads, but few fill the form, then we want to test the landing page. If many people fill the form, but few answer the phone, then we want to fix sales before we obsess over page tests. Because a lot of the times, maybe at the current level of your business, it doesn't make sense to pay, these web developers and all these people to do these landing page split tests for you, and you're just not spending enough or getting enough traffic for the test to be meaningful. So only do this if you have enough traffic coming in, your sales is on point, your upsells, and you can retain clients and all these things, because you'll be surprised how many people come to me as a marketing agency and they are saying, "Hey, Matteo, can you get me more bookings?" And I'm like, "Sure, but let me just go through your numbers real quick." And their lifetime value just isn't high enough. So I'm saying, well, before you come to me for marketing, you need to fix your actual service. Then come to me once you can, keep clients. But anyway, we don't want to obsess over these landing page split tests if it's just not worth it, right? So if you're not already spending thousands of dollars a month on ads, if you're not getting multiple hundreds of website or landing page clicks to your website per month, I say don't bother with this test. But an example test for a local electrician is version A headline, licensed electrician for all residential jobs. And version B headline is same day fix for power and lighting issues or call out is free. Same design, same form, same images, exact same page. We're literally just changing the headline, and we want to measure which one gets more quotes and more requests in like a 15-day to 30-day A/B test, right? An example test for a local dentist call to action. So version A is book appointment. Version B is grab your new patient checkup for $149. And this is what's actually going to be on the button itself. We want the same page, same offer, but different button copy, right? So we are testing if a value-based call to action beats a generic like book appointment call to action. So how long should we run an A/B test? Run both versions at the same time, never one after the other. We want to let the test run until each version has at least a few hundred visits if you can, which is why I was saying like, if you're not spending enough money on ads or your site's not getting enough traffic, there's no point. Do not stop a test after a good day or a bad day, right? Aim for at least one full week. So weekdays and weekends are included, right? Ideally 2 weeks and ideally a month. But again, it's more about the actual traffic and stuff as well. So nothing's stopping you from spending $1,000 on this one day to do this one split test. Like assuming that the total addressable market is there and there's enough people searching for your stuff or seeing your meta ads, then you should be good to go. So simple testing schedule you can copy. You want to pick one landing page that already gets consistent traffic or one page on your site. Every Monday, launch a new test on that page. Test one big element at a time, starting with headline, then offer, then images and proof. Then the next Monday, we want to pick the winner and log what you learned. Then set up that next test to beat your new control and so on and so forth. And keep doing this until you can't increase your conversion rate higher. And, if you're saying like, oh, I can't get higher than 10%, you're just not good enough. You need to be better at split testing landing pages and increasing the conversion rate. So, maybe when you get to 20, 30%, depending on the quality of traffic, then you can say that you can't test or can't get any better. So you want to document your winners and reuse them. Keep a simple log of every test you run, right? So have all the numbers, have the variable that you changed, have what you changed and what it looked like, take screenshots of the landing page itself, mobile version, desktop version, and then again, go through the amount of traffic and the conversion rates. So yeah, we want to record what you changed, the numbers, and which version won. When you find a winning headline or offer, we want to reuse that pattern on other local pages. And over time, you build your own private playbook of high converting ideas. So some common A/B testing mistakes to avoid. Testing tiny details before you have tested the offer and headline, right? Running multiple changes at once and guessing what worked. This is what most people do, saying, oh, I did a split test, but they weren't testing they weren't isolating one variable. And this is so funny because I used to learn this in science class in school. Yet when people run businesses, they want to change everything and they don't know what worked or what didn't work. Other thing is stopping tests too early because you're impatient. You have a short-term mindset. Your traffic has not had enough. Sorry, your website hasn't had enough traffic and all these things. Something else I didn't add in here is like you can do, instead of doing a 50-50 A/B test, you can do like a 80-20 A/B test where 80% goes to your control landing page and then 20% goes onto the test one. And then as the test one starts getting similar results, then you can slowly make it 70-30, 60-40, 50-50, and then hopefully replace it with the new one, right? Other thing here is testing low traffic pages where results will always be noisy because we're just not getting enough clicks to that page. And never writing down your results so you relearn the same lessons. It's one thing to do these split tests, but if we're not recording it and not knowing why it got better or why it got worse, then what the fuck was the point, right? So we want to turn testing into an unfair advantage. Most local competitors never test anything. They have one website, one landing page, one ad. They set and forget it and hope that it works, right? So if you run one smart landing page test per week, per fortnight even, you will outlearn them fast. Better headlines and offers means more leads from the same ad spend, not changing anything else. And over a year, that gap in conversion rate becomes a gap in revenue, they can never catch. So again, like imagine even going from a 2% conversion rate to a 3% conversion rate. Some dumb people will be like, oh, that's a 1% increase in conversion rate. No. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So it's a 1.5x increase to the business, assuming that everything all went to that one page, of course, and keeping all variables the same. But yeah, if you're spending a couple $1,000s a month, you are stupid not to be running these landing pages with this. So that's it for the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. All right, this is landing page analytics. Stop guessing, start measuring. Most local service businesses have no idea what their landing pages are actually doing. They just see some leads come in and hope it's good, right? Landing page analytics turns your website into a measurable sales asset, and you can stop arguing about design and start making decisions from data, not from thinking and feeling, right? So the one metric that matters first is the conversion rate. And a conversion rate is leads divided by visitors. Or if it's sales, if you're an e-commerce brand, it would be sales divided by visitors expressed as a percentage, right? Leads could be phone calls, bookings, form submissions. So if 200 people visit your plumber page, if you're a plumber, and call 20 call or fill the form, then that is a 10% conversion rate, right? 200 divided by 20 is 10. You learn this in school. Everything else you look at is there to explain why that number is high or low. So you need to define what a conversion is on your page. We want to pick one main goal for each landing page, right? And for some industries, it may make sense to have the number and the booking, but anyway. For emergency services like plumbers or locksmiths, the main conversion is usually a phone call. So that is your conversion event. For dentists, cleaners, landscapers, it might be a booking form or a quote request or the actual booking, like calendar booking software. You then track how many visitors complete that specific action. So a basic funnel for landing page analytics is we want to think in steps, not just totals. Add click or Google search click or, landing page view, however people get to that, whether that's from a Facebook ad or organic or direct. And then click on main call to action button or phone number, right? Completed form submission or connected call, as in like how many people actually, if it's a two-step, like where it opens a pop-up, then we need to track that. And of those leads who completed the form submission or did a successful connected call, we want to track the booked job or appointment, and we want analytics for each of these steps, right? So from click to landing page view, because sometimes people leave before it loads. Click on the main call to action button, form submission of those form submissions and what turned into jobs. Cool. So the 4 numbers every local service page business should have and should track is total visitors to the landing page. This is the number of people who click the main button or our phone link, right? Also the number of people who click the main button or phone link. We also want the number of actual inquiries or bookings that go through, the conversion rate from visitor to inquiry, and it's optional but powerful, is cost per inquiry as well if you run paid ads. It's good from a advertising standpoint, but in terms of the landing page conversion standpoint, cost per inquiry isn't super duper relevant. Although, at the end of the day, we're trying to make a profit for the business, right? So those are the 4 metrics. So an example metric for a local HVAC landing page is, let's say 1 week we get 500 visitors for Google Ads, right? That's like 500 clicks, cost per click of like $3 as an example. 120 people click the, schedule my AC tune-up button, which is your call to action. So that would be 500 divided by 120 divided by 500. That's 24% conversion rate from view to button click. And then of those clicks, 60 people finish the booking form or call and speak to your team. So that is a 50% conversion from button click to then booking form, right? And the conversion rate from visitor to booking form submission is 60 divided by 500, which is 12%, right? So yeah, essentially click-through rate is what it's called, from visitors to click is 24%. And then the visitor to inquiry conversion rate is 12%, right? And click-through rate can also be the impressions of how many people see your Google ads and then click like the ad. But yeah, you get the point. So you can see where you are losing people, and it's a funnel and we need to work out the bottlenecks within the funnel, right? So key behavior metrics that explain the quote unquote why. The bounce rate tells you how many people leave without doing anything. Average time on page shows if people are actually skimming or reading, and you can set up this stuff with like Hotjar or Microsoft Clarity. Scroll depth tells you how far down they go before they quit. Naturally, you'll see that 80% of people don't even scroll down. They just stick to the above the fold. So a high bounce, low time, and a shallow scroll usually means mismatch between ad promise and page content. This means that from the ad creative or the Google search ad, we're talking to the wrong people, and actually coming up with things that would tell people that this isn't for them, right? So good behavior but low conversions usually means the offer or call to action is weak, right? As in people scroll and people view and all that, but our offer is just not good enough, right? So minimum analytics setups you should have is we need to install Google Analytics or GA4 and make sure it's firing on all your landing pages. You can test this with the Tag Assistant. We want to set up events for form submissions, phone call click, link clicks, and key buttons on the page. Use a unique tracked phone number on each landing page, which we usually use CallRail for. I'm not affiliated with them, but they're really good. And we want to track the traffic sources with UTM parameters so you know which ads and keywords are sending visitors, right? So on Facebook, we can find the placement, the medium, the source, but in simpler terms, basically, where in the Facebook ads or Instagram ads were they shown? So first of all, was it Facebook or Instagram? Second of all, the actual placement, which could be Reels, Stories, Feed, and then the campaign, which is the ad campaign, the ad set, the ad, right? For Google Ads, it would be, basically the same thing. And then, but instead of ad sets, it would be ad groups, and instead of ad, it would be the keyword, right? This takes a few hours once, but pays you every month, right? So it might be a pain to set up, and it might seem technical, and you might have to pay someone to do it. But I can tell you, if you have a decent budget on ads, like this will be such a high expected value play. So a simple dashboard for service business owners is we want to create a basic spreadsheet with 1 row per week. Add columns, right, for visitors, inquiries, conversion rate, cost per inquiry for each traffic source, right? And to get the cost per inquiry, you need to divide that by the ad spend. Update it every Monday with last week's numbers, right? And you'll instantly see which landing pages and channels are worth scaling. You will also see something when something suddenly breaks instead of finding out months later, right? A lot of people come to me saying, hey, I have the landing page, here's the stats. And I'm like, well, what happened between here and here? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And it's because they weren't tracking it properly. And what they noticed was the button wasn't actually firing for some reason. It might have been a code. Web dev might have done something. Maybe they accidentally deleted the functionality of it. But it's super important that you track this, right? So in terms of benchmarks for local service landing pages, most local service sites convert at a low single-digit percentage by default, right? Most the IC is like 2 to 3%. Industry standard for quote-unquote okay conversion rate is 5%. As I said here, so a focused landing page with a strong offer can often reach 5 to 10% or more in terms of, just that low barrier to entry conversion, which would be a phone call, booking, or inquiry. And emergency intent pages like burst pipe repairs, right, can even hit higher because the need is urgent. Same with things like emergency garbage removal, emergency dentist, we can see 10, 20% even. But then comes the cost per click issue on Google Ads, where it's super expensive because everyone's competing for those keywords, right? So we do not obsess over being average. We want to obsess over improving our own conversion rate month after month, right? And this is why a thing called conversion rate optimization exists, where if a page is getting enough traffic, like it is super high EV and super high ROI to make these landing page split tests, because if you can increase the conversion rate from 2% to 3%, it looks like it's a 1%, but it's actually a 1.5x, right? So it's super important. So how to use analytics to prioritize fixes. So if visitors are low, fix traffic first with better ads or better rankings for SEO or better search impression share for Google Ads. If traffic is solid, like as in we're getting enough landing page views, but bounce rate is high, then we fix the headline and the first screen or the above the fold section, which I made a video on a couple days ago, so go check it out. If people scroll and click but do not convert, then we want to improve the offer and form experience. Maybe the form just has too many qualifications, questions on that. Usually we start with name, phone, email. Sometimes you might have to add suburbs. Sometimes you might have to add budget or what they're looking for specifically, but all that just adds an extra friction. So usually you can just reduce that. If leads come in, but only a few turn into jobs, then maybe you have a sales and follow-up problem, not a landing page problem, right? Like so many people come to me, I go through these stats with them, and like their ads are good, their landing page is converting good, but they're saying, oh, I only am able to convert like 10% of leads. And I realize it's because They're calling their leads super slowly within 48 hours when it should be within 5 minutes, right? And then, the other thing is like the actual skill of booking people into jobs or quotes or appointments or whatever that similar thing is to you. And the analytics tell you exactly which link in the chain to strengthen because, it's just a funnel at the end of the day. And if something leaks in the funnel, then we need to fix it, right? So you want to turn analytics into a weekly habit. If there's anything you can take away from this video, we want to pick one time every week to review your landing page numbers. Usually just go with Monday because it's easy, so you can go from the week before. Look at each page, each traffic source, and each step in the funnel, and decide one improvement to test based on what the data is telling you. It's very important if we go back here. You don't try to fix this all at the same time. Fix one by one so that we actually know where the issue is. And then, over a year, those small, consistent tweaks will separate you from every local competitor who is flying blind, just leaving the same page, setting, and forgetting. So that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. All right, this is a landing page copywriting. So 2 books I highly recommend to read. First one is Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz, which actually talks about like the principles of direct response copywriting. Second one is $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi, which talks about having a good offer on your landing page, right? And some other notable copywriters here that I like are Gary Halbert and David Ogilvy. It's very interesting what these guys have been able to push out. Like, for example, Valentine's Day, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, smoking is healthy. All of these were written by these, similar copywriters, and it's super interesting. And this is what actually gets people to take action through words. So, landing page copy is just sales and text. Your landing page is a sales conversation, not a brochure. Every line either moves a local prospect, if we're a local service business, closer to calling you or pushes them away. And good copy answers, why should I care? Why should I care right now? Why should I care about this service? And why should I care from you specifically? If your copy cannot answer that in plain language or plain English, no design trick will save it, right? It's cool to have like a super fancy, animated landing page that looks cool, but if the copywriting sucks, then you have a shit page that won't convert. So rule number 1 of landing page copy is that clarity beats clever. Your visitors are busy, distracted, and usually on their phone. They do not have time to decode the headlines and slogans. Say exactly what you do, for whom, and the outcome in the simplest words possible. If a 12-year-old in your city cannot understand your headline in 3 seconds, it is too clever. And something that you can use for this as well is the Hemingway editor, as well as Grammarly, and make sure that everyone can read it in like year 3 English. If not, then it's too complicated. And while you as a business owner might know exactly what you're talking about, some of your customers might not know that. So it's super important that you fix that. Next is the hero section formula you can steal. Your hero section is the first screen before anyone scrolls, also known as the above the fold section. Use this simple structure: who you help, problem they have, outcome you deliver, and the location you serve. An example structure is, outcome for specific people in suburb or city without the thing they hate, right? So as an example, we can say, get clean teeth for seniors over 60 in Perth without dealing with painful dental treatments, as an example, right? So this is another example for a local plumber. A weak one is professional plumbing services for all your needs. This is what everyone ever and their mother does. There's no differentiation. There's no copywriting here. And this will convert shittily on the landing page. So a strong one is, especially if we're targeting, emergency leaks or emergency plumbing, we'll have emergency leaks fixed in 2 hours for Brisbane homeowners, or you don't pay the call out fee, right? Same business, just different clarity, urgency, and confidence. And the headline sells the outcome, not the job title. We are not selling plumbing services. We are here to fix leaks, right? We're selling fixed leaks. So here's the page layout and the copy stack. So we want to think of the landing page like a short story with a clear structure. First is the hero section or above the fold. We want the hook, outcome, and main call to action, right? The section 1 is the benefits written from the customer's point of view, not your features list. And section 2 is proof, reviews, photos, and before and afters in their words. And section 3 is objections and frequently asked questions in plain English. Again, year 3 level, use Hemingway app if you have to. And then the footer at the bottom, repeat your main call to action and contact details, right? So we want to turn boring features into sharp benefits. Customers do not buy the whole 24/7 support. Oh, we're family owned. Like, while that does help in terms of like branding and in terms of being local, it doesn't help in terms of conversion rate. People buy what those things do for them. So what do family owned businesses have, right? Like, they're the best in the space. They've been doing it the one thing and they're getting good at it every single year, right? 24/7 support. What does that buy? Oh, whatever time of day we can help you, right? So you need to be more specific. We want to write a feature. And then add so that you can, and finish the sentence in their language, right? This is something I got straight out of the $100 million offers book. So that you can. Super important. So 24/7 emergency callouts so that you are never stuck with power overnight. Locally owned for 20 years so that you get someone who actually knows your area and houses, right? Because these things on its own don't mean shit. Whereas when we add the so that XYZ, now it makes more sense, right? So we want to use proof like a weapon, not a decoration. Most service pages dump random testimonials with no context, and stronger copy introduces proof right after a bold claim. So we want to make a promise and then immediately show a short quote that proves that exact promise, right? So our gutters were done in one morning and then the crew left the yard spotless. Sarah from Glenfield in Sydney. Then we want to attach suburb names and real specifics so locals feel, this is for people like me. Then we also want to write to objections before they say them. So we want to list the top 3 reasons locals hesitate to contact you. That could be the price, the trust, the hassle. Maybe they've been burned in the past, whatever it is. And we want to write one section for each and answer it directly. Worried about surprise costs? We give fixed written quotes before any work starts without any hidden fees. Been burnt by tradies not showing up? We text you when we're on the way and we pay you $50 if we are more than 50 minutes late. Again, only say this if you can actually back that up. Otherwise, you're going to ruin your reputation. So strong call to actions talk about value, not tasks. So submit and contact us. These are lazy button copy. We want to make sure we want to make your button repeat the outcome they want. So schedule my AC tune-up, claim my new patient checkup for $149, get my free roof inspection report. Like, my one for my own marketing company is claim your free Google Ads audit or claim your free AI marketing plan, right? I'm not just saying book now. So when the button text feels valuable, more people click it. So that's a simple copywriting trick, is just the button name to increase conversions on your website. So we want to write like you're a local, not a corporation. It's super important. The more authentic, the more raw, the more family-owned business, the better, instead of a big corporate company with 100 franchises and you're just a number to them. Your copy should sound like someone from your city wrote it. Mention specific suburbs, landmarks, use slang locally in your area, and common local problems. For example, serving Bondi, Coogee, Maroubra, and surrounding suburbs. Perfect for Queensland summers when your AC dies on the first hot day. Locals, the details build trust faster than generic marketing phrases, right? Here is a copy polish checklist for every landing page. So short sentence, and something else I might add is one sentence per line or one idea per line, right? Delete big words you would not use in real conversation. Like, I review some of, some business owners' landing pages, and they use words like comprehensive and bespoke and words that only ChatGPT comes up with, and I've never heard anyone ever in any conversation in Australia say, right? We want to replace we and like our company to you and your home, because we're talking to the customer in second person. Another one is read your page out loud. You'll be surprised like how stupid it sounds sometimes. So proofreading is always a bonus. And if you run out of breath, the sentence is too long. If it sounds like an ad and it sounds like, an ad on TV, then we want to rewrite it to sound like a human. So here is the 10-minute process to upgrade any service page copy. Step 1, we want to rewrite the hero section or above the fold section using the who, problem, outcome, location formula for local business. Step 2 is replace your feature list with benefits sentence using so that you can, and then put the outcome. Step 3, we want to move your 3 best testimonials right under your main offer, right? And step 4, we want to add one short objection section before the final calls to action, right? Just answering your FAQs. And then step 5 is to change your buttons to outcome-based call to actions instead of submit or contact us. Change it to like what they actually get, whether that's a new patient offer or to get their inspection report or whatever that looks like. And then do this on just one landing page, right? And then measure the difference in calls and inquiries and profit. And yeah, you'll notice that having better copywriting on your landing page will increase your conversion rate and overall get you more business, more leads, more sales, and have more profit in your bank account as a business owner. So that's it for the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. All right, this is hero images for landing pages. So your hero image is your first impression. Before anyone reads your copy, they see your hero image. In a split second, they decide this is for me, or they hit back. So your hero image is not a decoration. It is a visual hook that must sell who you are, what you do, and the outcome you create, right? So one of our landing pages that we're using here, you can see our hero image is this over here. So it's like what you get, qualified patients only, pre-sold before they call, direct calendar booking, exclusive territory, as you can see, right? So that's the hero image. So a job of a hero image on a landing page is to match the promise in your headline, right? Like from my other videos, you'll understand like what I mean by promise. Show the dream outcome your customer wants. Make it obvious who the service is for. Prove you are a real local business, not a random stock photo or AI generated image. You want to use real authentic images. And if your image does not do those 4 things, it is costing you leads, right? So what to show in your hero image? Show the result, not the tool. If you clean homes, then show a spotless living room, not a mop in a closet. If you're a landscaper, show a finished yard, not a rake leaning on a fence. And if you are a dentist, show a real person smiling confidently, not just a cartoon tooth that you whipped out from Canva, right? Results on screen beat concepts in your head. So people over logos and buildings. Humans connect with humans. Choose images that show real people getting the outcome of your service. You know, a happy family in a cool, bright living room sells HVAC way better than a shot of an outdoor unit, right? Or a technician at a customer's door in uniform sells trust better than a picture of just your van alone with your logo, right? Your face, your team, and your customers are stronger assets than any stock asset. So an example here, image for a local plumber. For example, if the headline is emergency leaks fixed in 2 hours for Sydney homeowners or you don't pay the call-out fee. The hero image as examples could be plumber in a clean uniform kneeling by sink in a typical Sydney-style kitchen. Customer standing nearby, relaxed, not stressed. Visible tools, but focus in on the calm customer and finished job feel. And the image says real plumber, local home, problem solved. Something you can do is actually put this into AI and get an example of what the image will look like and then recreate that image, right? So an example hero image for a local dentist. The headline is new patient smile upgrade in 1 visit for Parramatta professionals. And the hero image is real patient in the chair smiling at the dentist. Dentist in the branded uniform in a modern, clean clinic. No creepy close-up of gums, nothing that's gross. And the feeling is confident, safe, and local, not clinical, corporate, and cold, right? So an example hero image for a home cleaning service is the headline is, come home to a wow clean in Brisbane every week. The hero image could be the shot from the front door looking into a bright, tidy living room. Cleaner walking out of the frame with equipment clearly just finished. You want the viewer to imagine opening their own door to that scene for a very clean house. And we want to sell the moment they care about, not just the vacuum cleaner or the mop or the broom, right? So images that kill your conversions. Generic stock images where no one can tell what you actually do and it looks like you just got it off Google Images. Random lifestyle shots that just do not match your service or city. Like I get that you want to show authenticity, show your personality, but if it's completely irrelevant to what you're selling, then there's no point. Abstract graphics that belong in a software ad, not a business site, right? We don't overcomplicate it. Photos so dark or busy that the headline text is hard to read. An easy hack you can do for this is just go on Canva and turn down the brightness, and then use white text. That usually works out well. Hero sliders that rotate 5 images and distract from your main offer. This is probably the most common one that I see across service-based businesses in Australia, where there's a carousel with different call to actions, different images, and it lags everywhere and the site speed is so slow and it just fucks everything. So don't do that. And if your image could belong on any site in any city, it is the wrong image, right? If you're in Perth, then obviously show Perth. If you're in Sydney, show the Harbour Bridge. Like, we don't want to make it different. We also want to make your hero image support the hook. So your headline and hero must tell the same story in words and pictures. If your headline promises same day hot water repairs in Melbourne, your image must show that context. Technician at a hot water system, Melbourne style brick home, daytime light. And if your hook is about speed, show, in progress action of speed, right? If your hook is about quality, show detailed finished work close up where people value that in your hero image, right? And here are some mobile first hero image rules. Most of your local traffic is on mobile, right? So your image must still make sense when it is cropped, tall, and narrow. You want to keep the main subject in the center, not hidden on the sides, and we want to avoid any text inside the image that becomes unreadable on phones. We want to test your hero on your own phone before you ever run ads to it, right? So before you publish or run ads, make sure you check mobile version and it's all good. And then here, get great hero images without a big budget. So you do not need a professional shoot to beat 99% of local competitors. Tidy one real job site or room, right? Water or wear clean branded uniforms. Take 10 to 20 photos in good daylight on a modern phone. Get wide shots that show context and close-ups that show detail. And pick the one image that best shows your outcome and the person delivering it, right? No need to overcomplicate this. So here is a final hero image checklist before you hit publish. So can a stranger tell what service you offer in 2 seconds from the image? Can they tell roughly who it is for and what you operate? Does the image reinforce your headline promise instead of fighting it? Does it look like a real local business, not a fake stock company? Is it clear and readable on mobile version? And yeah, if you cannot answer yes to all of these, then we need to fix the hero image before we buy another click or spend any more money on ads because we're just going to waste money. So that's it for hero image landing pages, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. All right, this is buyer psychology for landing pages. So buyer psychology beats pretty design every time. Your landing page is talking to a human brain wired for fear, laziness, and shortcuts. So if you ignore that, no amount of design polish will ever save you. High converting pages work because they respect how people actually make decisions, not how we wish they did. Your job is to make quote unquote yes feel safe and obvious, and a no feel like a loss, right? We want to position it and box people in to taking the next action, right? So the 4 questions in every visitor's head. 1, is this for someone like me? 2, can I trust these people? 3, will it actually work for my situation? And 4, why should I act now instead of later? Every section on your landing page should answer one or more of these questions directly, and if it doesn't, then take it out of the landing page. There's no point. How buyers subconsciously calculate is this worth it? They imagine the dream outcome they want from your service. They guess how likely you are to actually deliver the outcome for them, and they estimate how long it will take before they feel the benefit. They also weigh how much effort, money, and hassle it will cost them. And if your landing page wins when the upside feels huge and fast, and the effort and risk feel tiny. Remember, going back to that value equation. As you can see here, as an example, my headline here says, fill your chair with implant and cosmetic cases predictably. For context, I'm a marketing agency targeting dentists to hire my agency. So I say here, we help dental practices attract high-value patients using a proven targeting and nurture system. No more chasing cleanings or price shoppers, right? What you get, here's my hero image. My call to action is very clear. And then obviously I have some proof there. The system, results, screenshots of ad accounts, and all that stuff. So you see how that makes it worth it, right? So status quo bias and loss aversion. Most locals would rather live with a leaky tap than risk hiring the wrong plumber, right? Doing nothing feels safer than making a bad decision. So you must show the cost of staying the same, not just the benefit of hiring you, right? Like for me specifically, on this page, for dentists, they are sick and tired of getting just checkup and cleans and price shoppers and people who just come in once for a new patient offer and never come back again. So what I've done on this landing page is position it in a way where it looks worse to just keep everything the same because it's not going to be profitable, right? So yeah, small roof leak now versus mold ruined installation and a 10K repair later is loss aversion in action, right? So why social proof works so well on landing pages? People look to, others like me when they feel unsure. Like they want to look at case studies, testimonials, results. So for example, a Gold Coast mom seeing another Gold Coast mom praising your cleaning services instantly feels safer and more credible. Put reviews, star ratings, and short quotes right next to your bold promises as well. You are borrowing other people's experience to lower the perceived risk in the visitor's mind, as you can see, right? So here's my social proof and a bit over here as well. So risk reversal, removing the biggest fear. The number one objection in any buyer's head is, what if this doesn't work for me? Guarantees flip that fear on its head by putting the risk on you instead of them. So for example, blocked, drain, clear, or you don't pay out the call out fee changes the emotional equation instantly because they have a risk reversal, a guarantee where there's a fallback. If for whatever reason you don't perform and you don't deliver, then they don't have to pay out the call out fee, right? So stronger specific guarantees alone have doubled or tripled offer conversions. As you can see, my one here is this. So if we don't deliver within 90 days, then we will keep working for free until we do. So scarcity and urgency without being scammy. People want what they can't easily have and what might disappear, right? So for services, your real constraint is usually time and capacity, not fake countdown timers, right? Only 5 new lawn care clients this month so we can keep quality high is honest scarcity. That's not some bullshit fake urgency. Like that's real because obviously you don't want to ruin your service, hire the wrong talent because your reputation will be on the line. So used well, real limits make qualified buyers decide now instead of someday, right? So in terms of price anchoring, how buyers judge your fees, buyers rarely know what your service should cost. They compare it to the first number they see, and that's the anchor. So you can show a premium package first, then your standard option looks like a deal in comparison, right? Full garden design, lighting, and weekly maintenance for $1,000 per week, next to the standard mow and tidy for $200 per week is classic anchoring. So everyone looks at this and they're like, whoa, that's too expensive. And then now it's $200 per week. They're like, oh, well, that's great. That's really cheap compared to the main thing. Let me just do the cheap option. But really, it was just a price anchor, and not many people do the full option anyway. So in terms of awareness levels, we want to meet buyers where their mind is. Some visitors already know you and just need a nudge to book, right? Wherever they are in the funnel. Some people are in the top of the funnel. Some are in the bottom. The ones in the bottom don't need much selling. They'll pretty much just book and take action. Some know that they need a problem, but not, need a plumber, but not which one. So these people are problem aware, but not solution aware. Some only feel a vague annoyance, like water bill seems quite high, right? So they're not problem aware or solution aware, but we still can market to these people. So your hero copy or above the fold and first screen should speak to the level of awareness you are targeting based on the ad, not some generic everyone message, right? The more niche you are for the landing page, from the ad, the higher your conversion rate and the more money you will make. So cognitive ease, make yes feel effortless. The brain loves what is simple, obvious, and low effort. Match your landing page headline and offer tightly to what your ad or Google result promised. Use one clear primary call to action, not 5 competing choices. For some industries, you may have 2 where it's like book and then a phone call as well, but usually we just want to drive 1. Short forms with not much qualification, only if you really need, but always start name, phone, email, and then just add more qualifying questions as you go. Plain language, right? In English, something I like using is the Hemingway app to write in 5th grade or year 5 English level, because you as a business owner, you know about your service, but we have to imagine that everyone is stupid, so that we can write our landing page copy really well and it's not too complicated, right? And then a clean layout, reduce mental friction and boost conversions, right? So in terms of consistency, why micro commitments matter. People like to act in line with what they just did. So if they clicked an ad about the same day aircon repair, your page should open with that same promise, right? It has to be relatable, improves click-through rate, improves conversion rate, and quality score in Google Ads, as an example. So if they answered a simple question or clicked a, get my quote button, then they are more likely to finish the form because what they saw on the ad reflected what they saw on the landing page. So we need that consistency. And these 1%ers actually matter when they stack up. So your landing page should feel like one continuous, of course, is a next step journey, right? So here is a final buyer psychology checklist for your landing page. Does my hero or above the fold section instantly signal this is for people like you in my area with this problem? Do I clearly show the dream outcome and the pain of doing nothing and staying at the exact same situation? Do I stack real local proof next to my boldest claims that is legit? Do I reverse as much risk as possible I can with a strong guarantee? And do I give a real reason to act now, not someday, right? As you can see here, on my own landing page, I have FAQs, and I'm really trying to get people to take action now and not later. So yeah, if you fix these, your landing page will start working with human psychology instead of against it. So that is buyer psychology for landing pages. See you in the next video.